History is the telling of what has happened in the past. Looking backward is like looking through a shrouded fog. Inspired writers have proclaimed the story in the past, but conclusions have so easily become bogged in doctrines and dogmas. The truth is, the historical first coming of Jesus was so powerful it changed the world. But the world needs a changing again more than ever before. It could happen, not by something new, but by hearing the purity of the story again. Looking into the fog for a second coming of the first. Listen to these final moments of a new play, The Galilean, as Caiaphas, the chief high priest, speaks with Jesus as he lies in a dungeon, badly beaten and barely conscious. This is the second coming. A deep, powerful, and meaningful glimpse of the first coming, as it has never been seen or understood before. It is as if history were able to be seen again, the curtains of time lifted up for a brief glimpse, and truth and God become something real again, something far different than religious tradition. The Galilean, an experience like no other.
Do you know what you have done? Are you so naive and lacking in your theological understanding that you don't realize the very foundations you are shaking? You are a threat to the religious practices and ideas that make up the core of our heritage, the essence of truths that are so precious, because they have come directly from God. How can you be so wrong and not know it? After a long pause, Caiaphas begins again. Jesus, your silence is exhausting. I know of your good works among the unfortunate. My people have told me almost unbelievable stories of your deep love and compassion. I want you to know, I know you are a good person, that you mean well. That's what makes it so hard to understand. Caiaphas walks over to Jesus, seeing his condition, touches his swollen face with pity. It's obvious that you have chosen to be silent. But I have one question that nags me more than any other. And Jesus looks at him deeply. Why, Jesus? Why did you let us arrest you tonight? Why didn't you slip away to safety? Wouldn't it be better to hide and live? Jesus speaks. Do we live? If we live in fear, if we hold truth and become threatened, should we let it go? If truth is lost, what remains? Living for me is taking a stand for truth. I could not quit tonight because I was afraid. As the soldiers came, running for life became less important than standing for truth. Truth? You speak of truth, Jesus. Can there be more than one truth? You challenge your own heritage, a tradition of over 1,000 years. And your truth suddenly says everything should be different. God is truth. A truth that can be experienced. To focus on truth is to focus on knowing God. Oh, Jesus, your truth is heresy. I ask you again. How can you be so wrong and not know it? How can you be a blasphemer and a heretic? Jesus looks up at Caiaphas, into his face, begins his final words. If my understanding of truth is heresy, then you're right. I am a heretic. But what choice do I have? God has given me a love for truth. A love for truth in a world that is so filled with pain and sorrow. A world filled with emptiness and hatred. But amidst it all, even now, underneath a canopy of stars, there is always the beauty of truth. Oh, truth is so very real. And God is very real. And God's love reaches out to touch all our lives. I have tried to stand for that truth, so that God's love can transform us all. It has transformed me and everyone I have touched. And he looks up into Caiaphas' face. And it can transform even you. Jesus looks into his face and then slowly drops his head, falling into semi-consciousness. Caiaphas moves closer, looking at Jesus, and then says, Jesus, you are going to die. You're in Rome's hands now. I couldn't save you if I wanted to. Within hours, you will be dead. And it will not be an easy death, but long and torturous. You say it is for truth. I say it is for heresy. One of us is wrong. To allow that you are right would mean the end to tradition as we have known it for over 1,000 years. I cannot let that happen. It is better to let you die. Better for you to be wrong. Tradition must go on. Tradition must continue. For society, it is always better for tradition to live on. What do I mean? Truth. Caiaphas turns, begins to walk, to leave. And then he turns again, looking at Jesus. Goodbye, Jesus. It's over. It's over. Your ministry is done. And no one will remember. No one will remember what you call a stand for truth. No one. He looks at Jesus and then he turns and looks out to the distance. No one looking out over the vast left audience. No one looking out at the right audience. No one will remember looking back at Jesus. This Galilean. He stares at Jesus and then turns, and Caiaphas exits. The lights tighten and bright on Jesus, hanging, head bowed down, not moving. Finally, the lights